Hi, this video is about how to build AI agents that don't suck. My name is David Hood, and I'm CEO of 42 Robots AI, and we help organizations implement AI. Because organizations that do will crush their competitors who don't. And tons of companies, I keep seeing articles about why aren't AI agents working? Why are they struggling with it? And I'm going to answer those questions. Why they aren't working. Also, I'm going to answer how to actually build these. Because within our organization, we've built AI agents that are actually effective and are capable of much more than what the common AI agent that I see out there is capable of. And it seems like we're just getting started. So that the capability, what's been tapped, even within, if you're doing it right, is just begun. And the tools are there. You don't need GPT-5 or GPT-7 to build a really great AI agent. So I do recommend you watch. I'll put links to these videos. Here's some relevant videos that'll help add a lot of context and expand on some of the concepts in this video. So why so much trouble? There's a lot of reasons why, and I'm not sure I understand all the reasons, but there's some that I think are actually really, really crucial to understanding why this is happening, and it helps you kind of step back and separate yourself from the poor ways, the suboptimal ways in which it seems like the whole industry is approaching this problem of building AI agents. Number one, and I'll explain when I talk about the structure here, that they use a backwards architecture. The architecture is just all wrong for how they build the solution and how the data flows and everything. And that's I explain that in detail in bad AI architecture, and then I'm going to talk a little bit more about it here in a minute. Here is something that took me a while to figure out, but I think this is really true, and this is relevant to that picture. Nerds love, or let's just talk about boys. Boys love ninjas, dragons, and robots. And the tech industry is largely a boys' club, and they're super excited that their robot friends are here. And they're seeing these large language models to be more than they are. Don't get me wrong. LLMs are amazing magic boxes that are capable of doing really freaking cool things that we couldn't do just a few years ago. See my video on new capabilities of LLMs. But they are not everything. They are nowhere near sentient. They were nowhere near like an AGI entity. They're just not there yet. There's so many more pieces to the puzzle, and I would even say that I would agree with Yann LeCun, the head of Meta AI, when he says that LLMs cannot be like an AGI entity, and I completely agree with that for different reasons than he does. But there's just not enough there. It's a systems argument, and I can shoot another video about that. Let me know in the comments if you want me to do that. So I think what you also get is a lot of prioritization of cool and interesting over practical. I've seen many variations of what I'm about to say, because I listen to a lot of different, let's call them AI nerds, talk about things on YouTube and read a lot of articles. And basically what they're doing is they're thinking with their fun brain, and they're not thinking with their practical brain. This is part of why I keep saying, oh, it's not moving into enterprise, it's not moving into enterprise. I get that enterprise and businesses move slower, but part of that is that the majority of the people that are experts in the AI field are thinking about this from hey, what's the coolest thing I can do? What's the most fun and interesting thing I could do? For example, there was a PhD in computer science, I think a machine learning engineer, who was talking about he's sort of, his brain in this podcast, his brain started to go towards the better way to build AI solutions and AI agents, but he quickly stopped himself and said, "But that's not cool. That's not interesting." Well, it might not be interesting to you. It's interesting to me, but it's also you're trying to get the LLMs to do more than what they are, than what they're capable of, and as a result, you're going to struggle, and you're going to, if you really can, some of these solutions you can build with LLMs, but it requires 1,000, 10,000, 100,000x the cost, the time, the energy to actually get it done, which to me is not effective. You can get the same result with a much more practical, less cost solution. That's how you should do it, especially when you consider organizations. Costs matter. Timing matters. If you can get something done in a week, doing it a better way versus getting it done in a year, doing it the long way, which one do you think an organization should choose? So that's a huge part of it. And this groupthink, groupthink affects all of these things. There's a big groupthink happening in the AI industry and in the tech industry as a whole in terms of where the value lies with what things should be done with regards to LLMs and AI in general. And of course, people want to, this goes back to this, he wants to play with his new toys. These LLMs, they're amazing new toys, and of course, he wants to play with them. So I get it. And then there's vested interests. So I think the big companies like OpenAI want to make their models seem like more than they are. When I hear Sam Altman say, "Oh, we're going to, crush everybody who doesn't think we're going to get to AGI," he's basically saying, "Hey, everybody else trying to build stuff with this using AI to build real-world solutions, you don't need to do that. Just leave it all to us." And you'll just have to pay us, and we'll do everything for you, and this is going to be everything that you'll ever need for all of your use cases. Hogwash. That is total nonsense. There's no way even GPT-10 is going to solve all problems. That's not how. It's just not possible. Unless they move away from there is a possibility if they move away from the current LLM architecture, which, by the way, has basically not changed since 2017 when Google released this paper that started this whole thing. Right, it's been basically the same 500 plus or minus 10% lines of Python code. It's just the data that they've been doing in and some certain types of tuning. But in general, the structure of the LLM itself has not changed. And until that happens, it doesn't matter how more advanced they make the LLM itself. And I'd be willing to bet you can tell, actually, it already is looking like the capabilities of LLMs is already plateauing. All right, so there's new paradigms here. This is just expected. When the internet came out, even Bill Gates was wrong about a lot of things. He liked to think that there was, he's called it the information superhighway, which was different from the internet. And he was thinking about it very differently than how it played out. So even one of the smartest, most capable, most hardworking, most pulse on the technology person in the world struggled with the new paradigm. You can't expect everyone to get this right. And I'm not saying that I understand all the aspects of how to build AI agents and all the aspects of LLMs. I'm saying that there's a very specific angle here that I think me and my company have a beat on based upon our R&D that is getting largely ignored. So there's new paradigms that it's just hard for people to restructure the paradigms. It's hard for people to look past what they have been doing and how they've been viewing things for so long. And then there's old paradigms that are kind of getting ignored. So it's kind of a weird situation where there are some old paradigms that are being thrown away that really should not be thrown away. And so you're going to see that when I get into how to actually build this correctly. So let's take a step back and look at what is an AI agent. So first of all, it's a big buzzword. AI agent is a buzzword. And we want to step back from this buzzword and really just try to pick apart what does it mean to be an AI agent, and then that will help us understand why there's the bad way and the better way. So every time I hear the word agentic, it kind of makes me cringe a little bit, and because it almost always is followed or surrounded by a lot of implications and assumptions that are the bad way, essentially. So I'll tell you what an AI agent is not. It is not an LLM. So an LLM in and of itself is not an agent. It's not an LLM on a loop. This is something I've heard somebody who's well in this industry say this is basically what an agent is. Nope, not correct. It is not just a chatbot. That is not an agent. A chatbot is not an agent. So let's take a step back and let's look at what an agent really is. What makes something really an AI agent? First of all, an AI agent is software. That's at its core, an AI agent is software. And it uses LLMs as tools. And the minimum qualification is that it uses LLMs as tools to make decisions. That's it. It doesn't even have to chat. Now, chat is usually in there. I think chat and decision making are often what you probably want. You probably want chat because if you're trying to make it seem like somebody that almost like an entity that someone can interact with, you do kind of need chat. But it's not required for it to be an AI agent. It can also do many more things that beyond just chat and decision making. So a lot of people would define an AI agent as maybe an LLM on a loop that makes decisions and is able to chat. Nope, this is wrong. It's software. It's not an LLM on a loop. It's software. Software. This is the old paradigm that people are throwing away. And there's no reason to do this. In fact, by doing that, you severely limit the capabilities of the agents, and this is why people are doing it wrong or getting bad results. So here is the general architecture that is the bad architecture. You have an LLM on a loop, you train it, maybe you fine-tune it, maybe you fine-tune it Big League style with lots of data, maybe you do like a little bit of fine-tune, whatever. You do prompt engineering, maybe you do some RAG, retrieval augmented generation, maybe you do some tools. So when I hear someone say an LLM using tools, to me, I hear they're using the LLM at the center of the architecture and to use software. All right, this is backwards. So I'll show you the better way right now. The better way is the software uses LLMs as tools. All right, so just a basic, very simple software architecture that you would draw for anything else and anywhere else, except now there are LLMs at key places that solve key problems. All right, so you have step one, a bunch of different steps, and you have LLMs at 3 different places helping either process data or make decisions or get a good output or whatever at key steps. And what ends up happening with this is they try to shove as much of the solution into the LLM as possible. And that creates major issues. It creates significant reliability concerns, especially within a business. You need this to be reliable. If you have a process that lives are dependent on or billions of dollars are dependent on, it can't be 70% reliable. It has to be much, much better than that in most cases. And you can't do that by just shoving everything in an LLM. It just doesn't work that way. You need a classic process with classic coding. You actually need to tighten the LLM's usage in terms of trying to make it as tight as possible on a specific use case at a specific place. And that way you get much better reliability. And you can build real-world processes where it can make real-world decisions. And these LLMs are maybe different LLMs or maybe the same one with different prompts. And there's a variety of different ways you can handle it. This is a far superior way to build an AI agent. Now, we've built an AI agent within our organization. And again, using an agent is a little bit of a marketing tactic in a way, although I do think it qualifies as an agent. And it's actually quite a bit more complex than this. We're using LLMs in about a dozen different places, and only 2 of them are chat. And so we're using LLMs in a lot of unique ways that isn't just decision making. It's not just chat. It's a variety of different ways and I would recommend you watch the new capabilities because there's a lot of cool stuff that now you can do within software that you couldn't do just 2 years ago. Okay, so if you would like help building your AI agents, be it for your products or your services or for within your company, give me a call or click the link below, and I'll help you take what you have and the problems that you have and actually be able to build something real. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Bye.